Happy holidays, my lovers. It's me again, Lady G. And today I want to talk about pronoun usage for me personally as a transgender female. I prefer the female pronoun, she and her. Okay? Girl, woman, lady, those. When I first came out when I was 18, I was very confused. I didn't know what it even meant to label myself as being gay. But it didn't feel right because I never was the type of person who liked labels anyway. Because I am so open to life and change that I can't really be put in a box, actually. But one of the things that really aggravated me when I first came out, or started to aggravate me as time went on, was always explaining to people what it meant for me to be gay, for me to be attracted to the same sex. First of all, it just felt natural to me, so it's hard to explain something that feels natural. A lot of times I would tell someone who was heterosexual, I would say, it's just as normal for me to be attracted to the same sex as it is for you to be attracted to the opposite sex. And that was the best way that I could explain that. But over time, as I was figuring it out and as I was explaining to people, because it was in the 90s, the early 90s when I came out, and so people were still um, struggling with understanding what homosexuality is or even accepting it. And because I was from a family that was Christian, it was even more difficult for me. But fortunately, I had parents who were accepting and open and loving, and my family embraced me. But from a kid, I was always very feminine. And so it wasn't like I was playing football and sports and was this macho man and then all of a sudden transitioned over into being feminine. I could understand more about if I can understand the complication for people if that were the case and they were having trouble trying to transition over to referring to me as she rather than he. That would be understandable. But for me, actually, I've always been she. And it's not until the last year or so that I have actually decided that I wanted to transition completely. But when I think about it, and I wrote this in my book, from the very beginning, it was in my mind that I was going to be transgender, or that was where my life was headed, to be transgender. And then I veered off on that path, and then I came right back around again. And there's so many times in my life where I sat and I thought, and I didn't even remember this, I thought I would have moments, little small moments in time or in the past as time went on. I would have these moments where I would question myself as to where I was. Like, am I really going to stay in like this limbo stage with my gender identification? Um, or am I just going to go head on and go and be a transgender female? Or be what I felt was always natural to me anyway. And I would block that out of my head. So it's really like for me to be in this position now, for those of you who don't know, I just started hormones at the end of November. And for me to be going through this transition now, actually, it just feels normal. It doesn't feel like this is the icing on the cake. So I'm babbling, but my whole point of this video is to say that first of all, I knew my family. I know that my family and my old friends from back home will struggle with identifying me as female, which I still don't understand that, but I get it. I mean, if you have always been referring to me as he since you've known me, then that's going to take a little while for you to get used to referring to me as she. So I get that. But I need for you to be respectful and I need for you to be mindful of using the correct pronouns. It's okay if there's a slip here and there, but I just need you to be mindful. Now, I hung out with my cousin. I posted videos. I hung out with them on the set of her video that she was shooting. And I was so proud of them because they're so open and they're so wonderful. And they were using the correct pronoun, the correct feminine pronoun for me. And there was a couple of slips here and there that I could hear. But I could tell that it wasn't them trying to be not mindful. They were doing the best that they could to be respectful, and I appreciated that, and I knew that they wanted to respect that. I want them to use the feminine pronouns, and it was beautiful. I was so comfortable. But what I also love is the people that didn't know me, they automatically embrace me as female, and that is the most wonderful thing, and that's what pisses me off sometimes about certain people who don't want to embrace or respect the way I identify, um, because I have so many people that do. And so what I realize is that I don't have to be around anybody who doesn't respect that. And my cousin said something very powerful. She said, Garland, when someone doesn't want to refer to you as you want to be referred to as, they're being a bully. And that was illuminating for me because I was like, you know what? It's true. It's a passive aggressive way of being bullied because you're trying to say that just because I was labeled as male at birth or because because my genitalia is a penis, that you have decided in your head that you're not going to honor what I identify as. And that's just complete bull. But again, I am so grateful that I have so many people that embrace me that I don't have to be around the people who don't, and the people who are not respectful and who are not mindful. Um, you know, I'm going to talk about this. I'm talking about this because I want to educate people and I want people to understand, but also in a time that of knowledge and internet, you can always go online and find the information you need. I used to get tired of explaining to people about why I am gay, or what it means to be gay. I got tired of explaining that, and I'm also now getting very tired of explaining how I identify. Because for me, it is as natural for me to be a woman as as it was, or as it is for me to be attracted to males. So it's just simple as that. It's really not that complex. Now there are lots of complexities in the umbrella of the LGBTQ community. Um, here's an example. I was working with a guy who cross-dressed, but I didn't know if he was transgender or what at the time. But he asked me, he was in full women's clothing, and he asked me, did I know any women or did I have any girlfriends that I could introduce him to? So he was still attracted to women. And now I was confused about that, but I should have asked him, what does that mean, or how do you actually identify? Do you like just dressing up like a woman and you still like women? I don't know, but I don't care. One of the things that I need you to understand is that you don't always have to understand everything to just be respectful. If somebody tells you that this is the way they identify and this is what they prefer to be called, then you just do it. Or you ask questions, or you do research if you care. So I'm not going to talk about this. Hopefully, I don't have to talk about this again. But I really wanted to talk about it because I was so proud of my family for here that embraced that. One of my cousins back home called me and left a message and referred to me as female because he read my book. A lot of people have read my book and they still are using the masculine pronoun. And I just have no tolerance for that because I know that I'm the type of person who will explain and who is an open book. And I don't mind you asking me any questions, even if it has to do with my genitalia. A lot of people are like, okay, they don't want to talk about that or it's none of your business, which is not. But people are curious and I don't mind. I have no problem. If you have questions, ask me, email me on Facebook, or however you know how to get in touch with me. So I think that's all I want to say. Yeah. So I want to encourage everyone. So let's get back to what I said about me not having to be around people who don't embrace who I am, and who don't refer to me as I prefer them to refer to me. That is the most magnificent thing when I think about that. That I have that many people who embrace me and who love me and who care about me and who respect me, that I don't have to be bothered with anybody who doesn't. And a lot of times we're in situations where we don't realize the people who actually do give us what we need because we're so busy focusing on the people who don't. And so I just want to encourage you to start thinking about when there are um, obstacles or things coming against you, or people coming against you. Think about all the people who aren't coming against you and love them and care for them and give to them and honor them and embrace them because they're embracing you. See that, know it, take it in your heart and your soul and let it give you life. So anyway, guys, I love you all, and I hope you enjoy your day or your night whenever you're watching this video. And I just want you to know that I love you and appreciate all of those who appreciate and respect me for who I am.